gotten so many DMs today, so many questions, so many, girl, I cannot wait. Because, again, I told you 2 topics that we don't talk about is money and we don't talk about sex. And so we're going to keep it raw and real today. You guys know I don't shy away from any topic. And this book that you guys have been seeing me read and talk about, I have the privilege and honor of welcoming to She Speaks for the next half an hour or so, none other than the phenomenal author, Miss Sahar Taylor. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm amazing. 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
Listen, ma'am, say less.
Girl, I have, I read this book in an hour and a half today.
It's a good read. It's an easy read.
It's an easy read.
Right. I didn't really use too much terminology that would confuse people. But, yeah, I hope it was educational and informative.
Oh, girl, it's lit. We're going in. We're going in. We're here to give it to the people because, listen, guys. The name of the book, as you can see, is called Let Me Fuck Your Husband. Do not be afraid of words because sex is not a dirty word, but somehow, some way we've gotten it dirty. And girl, I got a lot of questions.
Okay.
So we're going to jump in and flow. First and foremost, what in God's green earth made you want to write a book? That's for them good Christian folks out there that are swearing and playing and throwing oil at my screen right now. What made you write this book?
Basically because most of the books on non-monogamy that are written by white folks. Mm-hmm. And so my experience as a Black woman in the lifestyle is very different than the experience of white women. And so when I was kind of like looking for information because I was curious about doing more and being more and, you know, why aren't there enough of us around? There was nothing that spoke to the Black experience, right? And so I wanted to be that voice because I think that a lot of, you know, Black and brown people are interested, intrigued, and also participating in the lifestyle, but don't know where to start, don't know what to do, you know, don't even understand the basics of it. And so I thought it was important for someone to speak on it.
Well, we're gonna jump right in because I have a lot of pens and a lot of notes.
I see. And, your little tabulations?
Yeah, all my little tabulations. And I went through because again, literally, as you started to say some things, it really stuck out with me. And I actually wanted to start from the back because I wanted people to understand. You said monogamy is a business, marriage is a transaction, divorce is a termination of contracts. All of that makes money. Understanding that wedding services are part of a $300 billion industry. That's right. And divorce is a $50 billion industry. That's right. And so you wrote this, as you put in here, the lifestyle, normalizing it, right? Because your whole mission is to normalize it. Especially with the Black community. Exactly. Normalizing this lifestyle would destroy the core Christian values and obliterate the very fabric of the institutions that benefit from the monogamous lie. Girl.
That's right.
Woo!
That's right.
So we get into the monogamy lie. Let's talk about that because you chose in 2017 to say the hell with monogamy. Right. And you kicked it to the curb. Let's talk about that.
So I was married for a very, very brief moment. And then after that marriage, I just decided that being with one person was never really what I enjoy doing. I'm always bored with sex. You know, after a few times you fuck and that's the end of it, right? Right. And then, I mean, it doesn't matter how good the dick is, right? It could be good, but after a while you're like, it's Tuesday, all right, right? But the idea of creating a relationship or having a relationship where you speak freely about your sexuality, you speak freely about your desires, and the cheating and the lying should be obliterated because now you're being open and honest with your partner, right? So my husband cheated on me. He cheated on me the entire time. He cheated on his first wife. He cheated on me. He's probably cheating on his current wife, right? But that's what a cheater does, right? But what he really needs to do is just to come out and be open and say, I don't want to have one pussy for the rest of my life. That's not what I enjoy. There are women that are okay with that. But as long as you try to pull monogamous thinking women into a situation and you're lying to them, you know, maybe if he and I sat down and we discussed those things, I would have fucked him with a chick, right? But that was never an option because he was jealous of my relationship with my daughter. You know,
you said you was jealous of his own shadow.
His own shadow.
Yes.
Yeah, it was too close to me, for sure. And so then when I made the decision to not make monogamy like the type of relationship that I would have.
Mm-hmm.
I ran across this beautiful man that kind of changed all of that for me. Kind of like didn't really introduce it to me, just kind of like dropped it on my lap. Like, I can't fuck with you unless you fucking another nigga. Like,
right.
That's it.
Wow.
Like, have you ever heard? Like,
yeah,
you can't fuck with me unless I'm fucking another man.
Wow.
That was a prerequisite for him in order for us to continue to communicate in a relationship status.
So, but you were already interested in that when you met.
Oh, I'd already had threesomes and participated in orgies and, started to understand that I was, leaning towards the women's side of things, like enjoying a woman's body and the smell of her and the taste of her and that kind of thing, but still just dabbling. I didn't really consider myself a non-monogamist.
Gotcha.
I just consider myself like open and free, and I'm just out here living my best life.
I love it. Did you consider yourself a swinger at that time? Because
in a relationship with him, yes.
Okay.
Was probably the first time that I classified myself as a swinger, because we swung, right? We always looked for couples that looked like us to swing with.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I'm still a swinger.
Gotcha. You're a dope ass unicorn.
I'm dope as fuck.
One of the chapters you said monogamy must die. And I love it. You said most men cheat because they aren't allowed to express their true sexual desires to the woman they love.
Right.
Would you say that the same for women? Most women cheat
for sure.
for the same reason.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, 70% of relationships, not just marriages, 70% of relationships end because of infidelity.
Gotcha.
So why? Because people aren't allowed to speak freely about what they truly desire. You can't go home and be like, tonight I'm going to tell him that I need to get some other dick because this is just not enough. It's not that I don't love you.
Right.
It's not that I don't want to build with you. Doesn't mean I don't want to have your children, but I'm bored. I need that sexual energy. Mm-hmm. Men cheat. People cheat because they enjoy that excitement of the new pussy or the new dick. Right? So it's not just men. Right. It's not. It's just that men get caught more often because
women My aunt used to say,
a little smarter.
When I was a child, and I know my family's watching, I could care less, but my aunt used to say, pussy can lay down more times than dick can get up.
Ma'am. And we'll continue to lay down.
Right?
When I'm 90, shit, the pussy might be dry, but to squirt some little lube in it, I can still fuck. A man ain't fucking at 90.
Right.
He's not.
No, he's looking for companionship.
Listen, he's looking for a friend. Somebody to make him coffee and bread.
You said it's no secret. Again, I love that. It's no secret that most relationships experience some level of infidelity. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. People don't cheat because they're dishonest at heart. How can you love me and fuck someone else? I know you've heard that. What kind of energy do you get behind that when someone says, well, how can you love me? I love you, but you decide to go lay in another person's bed? Because
they've made love and sex synonymous.
Talk about that. You said
sex
versus love.
Yeah, sex versus love, right? They're not the same. Right. Marvin Gaye, I kind of broke down the whole interview and he's like, I love love.
Yes.
I love sex.
Yes.
The two are very different. Right. Like, my pussy does not talk to my heart. Right. I can have sex with whoever I want to have sex with and no emotion is going to come from that, And people say, well, you're a rare breed, Sahar. You just, you're just different. You're an alpha female. You're a man. You're like a nigga. You think like a nigga. All these
Your
things.
Your energy is masculine.
All of that, right? When at the end of the day, no. I like to have sex. Right. I like to have sex with men and women. And I'm free to say that. Like, I'm not afraid to say that. And I think that more women would like to say that, because here's the thing. When I have these kind of conversations with women with no men around, they like, girl, if only I could tell this nigga that, you know what I'm saying, that I wanted some other dick, but he would never allow it.
Right. Black men will never allow it.
I mean,
I've seen it in relationships with other marriages.
For sure.
But you said something. You said that black men, and I've had it said to me, I can't imagine another man fucking you. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, you on your iPad, your cell phone, Instagram, and DM, setting up appointments and doing shit in cars and things beyond. So why is it? Let's talk about the double standard. Mm-hmm. Oh, girl, that was my favorite chapter. Let's talk about the double standard.
So the double standard is that men have been allowed to utilize their dicks as they see fit, but they've always controlled what a woman does with her pussy, right? Mm-hmm. So that's been the narrative. Women have sex with their hearts. Women are emotional fuckers. Women can't have sex with a man and not fall. Like, that's all a lie. Mm-hmm. Men wouldn't be able to tolerate watching their man get dicked down by another man, right? Because they're insecure. So I can have sex and still love you the same way you can have sex with a woman and still love me, right? But they try to act like somehow women are, different. We're wired differently. Women aren't wired for this fucking life. You're wired to have babies and stay at home and cook. No.
Right.
I like to have sex too.
Right.
I want to get fucked up too. I want to get lit with women and men. I want all of that too. So why can't we do this together now?
Right.
And we don't have to lie. We don't have to cheat. You and I can talk about it and it can be normal for us. And I know plenty of couples who do it. But the problem with black people is that they monogamize, or say they non-monogamize in private. In private. So most of my non-monogamous friends, their parents don't know, their kids don't know, they don't know about their lifestyle at work. Like, nobody knows. I know, and people who are part of the lifestyle know, but because of their jobs, they can't come out. A lot of my friends are, work for the military.
Oh God, what would the government say?
They would kick them out. Right?
Because it's not normal. Not
necessarily because it's not normal, but because you can't commit adultery and stay in the military. Right? So they've classified, created this box now you have to stay in. So you can't step outside of your relationship, even if your wife or husband was in agreement with it, right? You're agreeing to it, but because it's still committing adultery, because adultery is having the act of sex with anybody but your married partner, right? That's a fireable offense.
Yes.
So I had my own show, right? I couldn't get any of my friends to come on.
Because they want to stay in the shadows.
Because they non-monogamize in privacy.
I love it. And I'm so glad that we're having this conversation.
Me too.
Ego. Talk about it's the male's ego that would leave them or render them feeling in their feelings. Oh, men who don't have feelings, but they get in their feelings with the notion that their woman is going to fuck someone else. You said you had a relationship with a gentleman who you really liked, and you were taking some time to get to know him.
Right.
Talk about preparing to have the conversation with him that you liked him, but you're also fucking other men. Talk about
So this is like before the whole, I'm non-monogamous, I'm a swinger kind of thing. When he and I first started getting to know one another, he wanted to be more open. Like I said, it was, mandatory for me to be having sex with other people. And I'm like, so you just want me to just tell you about other men that I'm fucking? And he's like, yeah, we can swap stories. Like, it would be a great conversation. And so it took me a while because I didn't trust it. Because all my life up until then, men judged me based on how many people I had sex with. Oh, you had sex with more than 10 men? Oh, you're a hoe. You know what I'm saying? You're not wifey material because too many men. I don't want to run in the street and run into somebody you fuck. Who fucking cares? Like, so what? I fucked him. You probably fucked her and her cousin and her mother. But because I'm a woman, you can't bear to run into some dick that I may have sucked. So what? Who cares? We were just talking about this in the car, about this numbers, right? The bodies. What's your body count? Why does that matter? I can suck a dick. Do you want your dick sucked? Like it shouldn't matter, right? But they make it matter, but not for them. They can fuck 100 women in a week, and they the man. They the man. But let you try that as a woman. You a full-blown hoe.
You might make it to Jerry Springer.
Listen, ma'am. You done gave you AIDS, herpes. You got all kind of shit. Making up all kind of lies.
Everything in between. Every blog knows about you. Everybody knows about you. Now, you said something, and it really intrigued me. I paid attention. You have the most gorgeous tattoo of Oshu.
Thank you.
Which is my nickname. And I saw
Well, look at here. Listen.
Look at God.
Look at God.
Look at God. Look at the sun. Look at the sun shining. And I thought it was interesting because I read the chapter in the book, and you said you do not believe in the power of sexual energy in sexual transmutation. So when people say I'm fucking or I'm having sex to heal, I'm having sex to pull down money, I'm having sex to manifest.
No, not having sex. It's the not having sex and doing these things. So in transmutation, right, in sexual transmutation, you're not having sex. You're utilizing your sexual energy, like all this pent-up energy, say, for instance, that a person goes out and hunts for a partner. Instead of doing that, they're taking that energy and they're pushing towards, manifesting this business or, trying to get this house built or doing these other things instead of having sex. And I'm like,
what in the not having
orgasm ass shit is that?
Gotcha. So, but you do believe in sexual energy?
The whole chapter about sex energy.
Talk about that, because it almost confuses you when you're reading. You're like, wait a minute.
No, sex energy. Sex energy is everywhere. Everywhere. When you smile at a person, that's sex energy. You don't have to exchange bodily fluids in order for you to have sex, right? That sex energy is everything. You go into a room and someone sees you, and they're like, oh, that's all sex energy. When you're talking on the phone and a person calls you and your pussy get wet or your dick get hard, and you're like, hey. That's all sex, and you don't even have to be near the person, right? You can be in the mall and you can smell a perfume that reminds you of someone that you know, and you're like, where is this person? That's all sex energy, right? Because all those lead to those sexual desires that we all have inside, right? So why hide it? Tell me my boot cricket? Like, I have cricket boots.
So, in the lifestyle, obviously, what do you classify yourself now? I mean, polygamy. What do you think about polygamy? Let's talk about that.
I think if polygamy works for you, then that's great. Just like monogamy. If monogamy works for you, Godspeed. Gotcha. Like, I'm not here to tell you that, your lifestyle or how you choose to relationship isn't right. I'm just saying that there are alternatives to monogamy, right? So if it's polygyny or polygamy or swinging or an open relationship, that's why I get into all of that, right? It's your choice. What I'm saying is that you don't have to be in a monogamous relationship to have love, to be happy, and to have sex. You understand?
Gotcha. Absolutely. It's interesting because you say we are not meant to be with one person for the rest of our lives.
No.
And there are some people out here who are like, oh my God, I have married my person, my forever person. I'm going to be with them forever and ever. And then they turn into a Lifetime movie. Or they turn into a single white female. Or the husband goes out and he does something.
Because he fucking anyway.
Exactly. So what would you say to the woman that's watching right now who is like, how do I begin to have this conversation? I love how you broke down the different classifications. And then you had the fuckability scale.
Right.
I'm here for that.
Ma'am.
But you broke down different classifications to help people find themselves on this journey. Why do you think it is so important for the African American community to finally have this conversation?
Because we're always the last to jump on board or something, right? A lot of the events that I go to, a lot of the play parties that I attend, when you go there, we're like the little black dot in the grits. You're like, what the fuck is that doing here? Exactly. You're like, what the fuck is this roach doing in my grits, right? So that's what it's like. You go to these events and they're just a sprinkle of black people, and it's like, where is everybody? But then I go to some other events and you see that they're having these private parties at hotels or having these private parties, at people's homes. And it's like, so you are interested in it, but why don't you do it where white people do it? Like at Hito, for instance, right? You go to Hito on any given week, it's predominantly white with a little sprinkle of black. But you go there on Nigga Week,
and it's packed
to the nines with black people, right? Who are out there nude, fucking orgies, doing... And you're like, so we are about this life. Right. But then where are you? Where are you on a regular basis? Like on a daily basis? They're hiding.
On SDC.
That's that part.
With the emoji over their face.
That part. All of that. On SLS. They send me an emoji and then they want me to be attracted to that.
What are you attracted to? I know that you said you leaned more towards women. When did you really tap into
No, I don't lean more towards women now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay,
stand corrected. I know you love women.
I love women.
You love women.
But I love me some dick.
Understood.
There's like, men are the steak, women are like the macaroni and cheese.
Gotcha. So you'd rather have dick?
I'd much rather have steak. Okay. I'd much rather have steak.
I love how you broke down the classifications of women. The bi-curious, the
bi-friendly,
the
bisexual.
You said the bi-curious are the most difficult because they're just so damn confusing.
Right, because they're like, oh girl, you so hot. If I was gay, if I like girls, I would, they might even touch on my booty. But let me touch on their booty. Girl, you just then it's like, oh, you just doing now I'm doing too much, but you came on to me. Right? And so I get confused, right? Because I'm a woman who likes women and I'm out a lot. I get confused with girl energy versus girl wanna fuck me energy. Gotcha. So I'm like, is she just flirting with me because she's just being a woman, or is she flirting with me because she want my pussy? Like, so it's hard to make that determination. You know what I'm saying? I love beautiful women. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's just, trying to figure out what's sexual and what's friendly. And I still get it fucked up because I would try.
So you're out and you see a beautiful woman. What's your approach?
It depends. Like a woman really would have to give me some kind of something, some kind of sex energy that's greater than, hey girl. Mm. You know, the hey girls, I'm like, hey girl.
Hey girl, hey.
Right, exactly. Like I'm not coming on to every pretty woman I see, like, oh girl, let me touch your booty. Oh girl, let me like, I do at Hito though.
Yeah,
but
well,
because we all naked. We naked and that's what we're here for. But like in a vanilla situation, you know, a regular club or a scene, you know, I just chill. Unless I've had quite a bit of alcohol and my finger might slide in your pussy when you have a skirt on. I mean, it's happened.
And what about men? You see a fine brother, he's sitting on the edge of the bar, you just know, you know what? I look at your hand, they say you can tell by a man's thumb. I look at your hand, look at your shoe, you can kind of gauge what he's working with.
Yeah.
What's your approach?
None of those things work. All those things are myths. All those things, the size of his shoe, the size of his hand, ain't got nothing to do with the size of his dick. Because I done been with 6'5", 6'7" niggas with dicks that's this big. You feel me?
I got you.
You like, damn, why, Lord, why? Right? So for me, it's, you know, once I get that sex energy that's exchanged and it's heavy, I'm ready to fuck. Gotcha. Like, it doesn't take me long. Gotcha. I'm like, I don't need wine, I don't need dinner, I don't need any of that.
Gotcha.
I don't need any of that for me to determine, and nobody needs it, right?
Right.
Everyone decides whether or not they're gonna have sex with someone within 5 seconds that you meet somebody. Soon as somebody walked through the door and you're like, I would fuck the brakes off of him, right? You don't need much time. You don't need to know his name. You need to know how much money he got. None of that matters, right? That stuff matters later when you're trying to date him and you're trying to, but when you're in a situation like, say for instance, at Trapeze, right? And Trapeze is just it's a lifestyle club here in Atlanta, right? Everybody's naked. Nobody has on clothes. So that barrier is broken, right? So you don't know how much money a person has. You don't know how much. Everybody's just naked. You're not sitting there asking them what they do for a living.
Gotcha.
Do you want to fuck me?
Right.
And if I want to fuck you, then we about to go somewhere and go fuck, right? Gotcha. And that's it. And so if you're there with a partner and that's what you two are seeking, and you meet another couple or a person that meets your requirements, it's on and popping. You know, and then you exchange information later. Like, girl, that was a good time. You know, call me. Call me.
So the person that says, what is it that Sahar wants long term? Do you want love? Do you want a relationship? Do you want to be able to share this lifestyle with a partner? Or are you just content with being the unicorn? Because the unicorn has a meaning. I think we need to explain that to the community. What is the meaning of a unicorn in the lifestyle?
Basically, we're here for a good time, not a long time. At the end of the day, we are, you know, highly sexual, typically sometimes, you know, depending on where you are, they refer to men as unicorns, but really we call them bulls, right? So men are bulls, women are unicorns. It's a single female who, you know, typically is bisexual and it's just kind of open. You know, we are here to bring pleasure to you as a couple or them as a group, and then we just keep it pushing, right? Long term, I mean, having a partner to share, you know, these experiences with would be amazing. But I ain't gonna stop being who I am. Right. So if being with you means I can't fuck somebody else, then you can't be with me. Right. I don't want to be with you. You understand? So I need a partner that's like, we doing this shit together. You know, we walking hand in hand. Like this is what we do, right? So love, to me, is fleeting. You know, people fall in love every fucking day and fall out of love just as fast. So to me, that love, that connection with a person isn't more important than my overall happiness. I want to be happy. And if me being single and doing this alone makes me happy, I have great friends that I fucking love. I got best friends, I got guy friends, I got girlfriends. I'm cool, right? I don't need a man to complete me. Right? Now, having a man that is my partner and we're kind of doing this thing together, that would be amazing. But I'm not looking for it. If it happens,
do you think it exists?
I mean, I know some dope ass couples. Gotcha. I know some dope ass couples that have been married for, you know, 5-10 years, that swing like shit. They look good. You know what I'm saying? They got a couple dollars. They're fucking amazing, and they fuck. And they do that shit together.
Is this a lifestyle for wealth? Is it only, in your opinion, why do you think that we as Black people really don't engage? Other than the fact that we value our privacy, why do you think we really don't engage?
We're just afraid. It's fear. we're already judged, you know, on the color of our skin. You step into a room, you're black, right? White people are, oh, that's the woman and that's the man. But we're black. You're a black woman, you're a black man. They're not white women and white men. They're just men and women. We're black first, right? And so because of that, we tend to shy away from things that would bring more judgment to us. So if my parents or my church or my community is going to judge me because I bring another woman into my bed and share my husband with her, then I'm not going to do that and let people know. I got to do that in private because these people are not going to, they're going to reject me. They're not going to think that I'm one of them, right? So that's the problem.
Gotcha.
So it's just fear. It's fear of judgment. And once people learn to stop living their lives with fear, then they can be more free. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about what people say about me. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm a human being and I own all of this.
Yes.
So as long as I'm taking care of this and I'm doing what makes me happy, I don't give two shits about what someone says about me.
Well, you know what I love is you said in the book about how I don't want your man.
Right.
I want to help you
enhance
your relationship.
Exactly.
Speak to that.
There's nothing better than being a third to a couple. There's nothing better than that. Like that sex energy, especially when the two of them, they love each other. So they're trusting me to come into their space and bring them great pleasure. And then when I leave, typically, them motherfuckers be fucking like crazy. Like, oh my God, the way you was fucking her and the way you was, you know, it's this whole idea that I can be open, I can relax with, I can be myself with you, because how often are people not themselves with their mate?
Every day.
You don't even know that I want to be with a woman, that I have sexual desires for a woman. I'm too afraid to tell you that because you're jealous and you're insecure and you're going to think that I'm fucking all my friends. Now I can't go to the mall. Now I can't go anywhere with my friends. You're going, are you having sex? Are you having sex? Are you having sex? You know, because guys are so hung up on what a woman is doing with her pussy.
Or the ownership.
Ownership, for sure.
You talked about that, especially with black men. Black men tend to think that we own our women, and you say it goes back to slavery.
For sure.
In terms of them treating women like property, treating women like, that's mine.
That's mine.
That's mine.
That's mine, especially because Massa used to take us from them. And so now it's like, no, you belong to me. And I can't tell you how many times I've had a man say to me, I deserve to have somebody for myself. And it's like, I'm not your property. I'm not your car. I'm not your house. You don't own me. I deserve to have somebody just for me. But why? That sounds like a child. This is my toy. No one else can play with that. It's like, fuck out of here. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a toy. I'm not a piece of property. I'm a human being just like you are. You know, they want to possess us, but we're not allowed to possess them. They don't want to be possessed. Right. They don't want to be controlled. No. They don't want to be property. No, they put their foot down. They want to be free to roam while you stay at home.
Exactly.
And had them babies.
And that's why I love that when you talked about the double standard, honestly, I went through it and I said, wow, black women are afraid to speak and live in truth. Plain and black men accept and agree that non-monogamy can lead to more fulfilling relationships. However, you talk about and say that, like you said, men no longer view women as wifey material. Now, a lot of men, this right here, a lot of men are delusional and really believe that one dick is enough for any woman.
Right.
Ooh,
right.
Honey.
They think because they dicking you down that you don't desire another dick. But no matter how good your pussy is, they still want other pussy.
Exactly.
So what's the difference?
What is the difference?
There is no difference. The difference is that they tell you that, you know, there should only be one man inside of there because you're an eternal fucker, and because you receive sex, you don't give sex, that sex is different for a woman. It's bullshit. That's all a man's narrative, to control what a woman does with her body. And we as women need to stop giving them that power to think that they have the right to tell us what we can and cannot do with our pussy. Period.
I love you. There is, I think my audience also needs to know there's more to Sahar than just the woman who loves good dick, who loves pussy, who loves fucking. What do you do professionally? Tell us a little bit about you and what do you do and how do you have fun? What do you do outside of heat on this Jamaica carnival? Tell us a little about you. I know you're of Haitian descent. I know you're a Philadelphia.
I'm Haitian and I'm Native American. I am a nurse practitioner by trade, but I work as a travel nurse, so I travel all across the country, taking care of your mothers and your fathers and your aunties and your uncles, right? And I just enjoy life. I love the outdoors. I love to have a good time. I just love to have a good fucking time. I just enjoy life.
And your mom, your daughter is what, 25?
My daughter's 25. She's in the Navy. She's been in 3 years. She's already a second classman. She's doing big things. And everybody knows about my life.
I was going to say,
please.
What kind of feedback do you
Listen,
get? Honey?
my auntie is a reverend. And when the last time I was in Philadelphia, we sat down and had this whole conversation. By the time that the conversation was over, she's writing notes down like, well, damn, Gina, right? Because, you know, people are more intrigued about the lifestyle than they let on. Mm-hmm. And when they hear people actually speak about it, they're like, just tell me more. Right. You know, which is what led me to write the book. Right. Because I can talk to my family and they're like, so what do you do in an orgy? And where do you put the dick? And how do you, what is the position, right? So all those things create fear in a person. I wouldn't know what to do. As a matter of fact, my cousin, she just texted me today, like, your event is coming up. Do you ever get anxious or scared? And I'm like, scared of what?
Okay, so what event? We need to know. What event's coming up?
So I'm creating a social club for like-minded individuals. It's exclusive to Black and brown and some sexy, you know, others. But the idea that, you know, you go into a space and everybody there is fuckable, right? Because right now when we go into these...
What's the number? Are they because you skipped 1, 2, and 3, you went 10, 8, 5, 3.
Right, it was no point. Like between a 0 and a 3, who cares? Like a 2 or 1, it doesn't matter. Like no one's looking at them anyway. Right. I'm saying that, you know, at my events, it's gonna be 7s and above. Okay. Right? Now people are like, well, who classifies what is a 7? I do. And the people on my board, on the panel, they classify, right? Okay. So membership is required, full pics of yourself is required, and then you get chosen. And if you get chosen, then you have access. You have access to people who look like you, who think like you, or are ready to get down like you.
Okay, so how someone's listening? Because again, I'm
so I have so the social club is called the Black Swingers Retreat. Okay. That's also on Instagram, spelled exactly that way, the Black Swingers Retreat. You can go on to blackswingersretreat.com. You can apply for membership, and you'll have access to our different events.
I love that. And again, what advice could you give for the man out there who is like, you know what, it's time for me to come clean. It's time for me to really operate in truth, because that's what it boils down to.
Do it.
Just do it.
Do it. I talk about a couple in here where, you know, he was married, you know, prior to, cheated on her the entire relationship. And then after they broke up, he said, I'm done. Moving forward, I'm just going to tell my woman that I want other pussy. So he met a woman who he figured that he could probably make a life with, and he just told her, like, babe, I love you, but I'm gonna need other pussy. And she was hurt by it, but when he started explaining it to her, like, listen, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with how I feel about you. It has nothing to do with how much I enjoy you. I just like variety, like we all do. We all like multiple pairs of shoes, different clothes, different cars, different homes, different vacations. Nothing we do in life we are supposed to have one of except a partner. It's absolutely ridiculous. Wow. It makes absolutely no sense. But somehow we've allowed society to tell us that this is how we're supposed to live. And so we do it, but not really. Because we're cheating and you're lying and you're having babies outside of your relationship.
And then there's scandal.
There's
scandal. It makes sure like CNN, the news, the media, the world has sensationalized the scandal, but the same people who are talking about it
are the same people doing it.
Right. Who sign up online.
For sure.
Who put the emojis over their face. Who come into the club.
For sure.
Who DM you when you get to your city.
Yeah.
I know a lot, don't ask me. But again, the reality of it is, I mean, literally, I'm not shy about it. I've been in this lifestyle. I've been in it since 2002, and I've gone from swinger to polygyny, you know, to, you know, okay, well, what are we doing? Because I just believe that people come into a relationship and no one's going to be honest unless you force them in a situation.
Unless you're honest.
Right,
so I'm always honest, up front, when
honest.
I meat somebody. I like to fuck multiple people. I love group sex. What do you think about that?
And what's the reaction you get?
60-40, nay. 60-40, they're like, nah, I ain't really into that. Okay, or it's tell me more. How do you do? What do you do? And how would you? And you know, and then I get the ones who think they're gonna change me. You know, we go out on a few dates, having sex, and all that, and it's great. And it's like, I want you to myself. I don't want to share you with anybody else. You signed up for the wrong bitch. Bye. Bye.
So this book, I've had 3 people ask me for it today. And so
No.
I have to hold on to my copy like I lost my business. I have all my notes
because
here.
like just in complete transparency, the books that I received are not, they do not look the way they should.
Gotcha.
Right? So I received 250 books for my own personal use, and the covers are washed out. We look like gray people, not brown people. It's despicable. So I'm fighting with the publishing company now, and I'm not gonna blow their asses up just yet.
Yes.
But I'm fighting with them now to do a reprint, right? So really, those books are going to the fire. I gave you a copy because
thank you.
I was coming on the show and you wanted to read it, but I'm driving around with 8 boxes of fucked up books in my truck that are gonna go into the fire until I get a reprint.
So the person that wants to go, what advice do you have for the person that says, well, damn, I'm ready to become non-monogamous? You say just do it. I want to get in the lifestyle. Where do they start? Where do they go?
Read my book.
If you're in Atlanta, read the book.
Read the book.
Read the book. And the book comes out on her birthday.
On my birthday, December 16th.
She is a rockin' Sag, guys. 12, 16, you'll be able to get the book that's not gray washed. This is going to be my Bible for now because I'm totally freaking inspired. But what I love your confidence. I love your boldness. I love your I don't give a fuck what people think. And you really, truly walk in it.
Right.
That's something to be commendable because there's so many people walking around suffering from identity theft.
Right.
And this is your truth.
For sure.
And I love it. So what advice, what closing comments, advice do you have for our listeners?
Just be ready. Just be ready to be disappointed. Be ready to step outside of what is normal for you because it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable as fuck because you're not used to telling your partner that you enjoy having sex with other people or that somebody else could please you just as much or better than your partner does. Like, be ready to feel hurt, right? But it's not about feeling hurt. It's about working through those pains and figuring things out. Like, babe, it's okay. I'm not going to leave you. I don't care how good the pussy is. I don't care how good the dick is. I love you. You my nigga. We ride for each other, right? So no one person is going to change that, right? And if you're honest, and it's all about honesty, right? Because if you can't be honest, because I know people who are in non-monogamous relationships and they still cheat.
Why? That's a $1 million question. If I give you the permission, I've dated men where I'm like, do you want me to find you another woman?
Right.
I've dated men where I've been a part of the SEC club and we've gone out and we've dated other women. I've been there. I've seen the cuckolds.
Right.
I've seen the men strapped down and dominatrix.
All that.
I've seen all of that. And they still cheat. Why?
Because there's still boundaries. Even in lifestyle relationships, there are still boundaries, which means there's still rules. So you still can't be out here willy-nilly doing exactly what you want to do, which is what gives me pause when it comes to me being in a relationship. Because, okay, like, you know, I have a friend and we kind of kick it together, we go swing or whatever, and I might meet a couple and maybe the couple is not interested in the man. They're only interested in a woman. And he wants me to tell them, well, if he can't fuck her, then he can't fuck me. No, we ain't gonna stop my pussy flow. Because you can't get no pussy. You go find you some other pussy because I'm going to get down with this couple because I want them. They want me and I'm going to do my thing. But see, when you're in a relationship, if you've established boundaries like we only swing together, everything we do is together. And that's how my relationship was. You know, we had our outside partners, but when we would try to swing together, things just never really worked out because we never really found the kind of partners that really got down like how we got down, that looked like us. So we did most of our fucking without each other around. So for me, it was just like, what are we doing? I like the partner sharing part of it. I love to watch him fuck another woman. You know what I'm saying? I love to fuck him with another man. Like, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, that's the drive. The drive isn't, I can fuck 6, 7, 8 niggas out here while you fucking all these bitches over here and then we go to sleep at night at some point. That doesn't...
It's almost contradictory.
Right. Yeah. But we were both new to it. We were both new to it. And then when shit went bad, it just went all bad. And it didn't have to. And that's what I kind of talk about in the book. Like, it didn't have to, but we were both novice in those types of relationships. And so now as the years have passed, I'm like, the rules and the boundaries that we created for each other were just insecure and childish, really. It was just to protect us from getting hurt. but it stopped us from also having a good time.
Well, you said protect you from being hurt. It's interesting because you say one of the first things you must do is check your emotions at the door.
For sure.
How the hell? And there's a woman out there thinking, oh my God, I'm so emotional, I get clingy, like I just love everybody. But you can't, because you're going into this knowing you're going in to get fucked, to be fucked,
right,
and to keep moving.
Right. Don't try to sit there and fall in love with somebody else's husband when he's just there to give you some dick. Or you just there to give him some pussy and to have sex with his wife. Like, keep it moving.
Gotcha.
You know, it's because I know nurses like that cry at every patient that passes away. It's like, people die. Stop. Right? So you can't, you have to check your emotions and say, this is for a good time. I'm here to have a good time to share these experiences, and then you move on. And maybe that couple will want you to, you know, visit with them more often and, you know, take you places. And that's an agreement that you come to, right? But you as a person or even as a couple can't go into a situation and think that, oh my God, that dick was so good, I gotta get more of that. And now you sweating a nigga, calling him up, and now you're overstepping his wife, not wanting to include her, not what.
And that's when it goes wrong.
That's when it goes wrong.
Gotcha.
Because if they met you together and they wanted you together, but now you're like backdooring the wife and you're trying to talk to the husband and you have no interest in the wife, but the wife was interested in you, that's where shit gets. Right.
You said that you don't talk to a husband unless the wife is present. Or do you?
No, I don't engage in conversations with husbands without said permission from the wife. So initially when the woman, when I meet a couple, then I would prefer to have conversations with the woman. So I always say, hey, create a chat with the three of us on there together, right? So that anything that's being said, you see what's being said. You don't have to worry about, because even though you're in a lifestyle relationship, you still get jealous. Women still get jealous. Men still feel insecure, right? So to alleviate that, I need the woman to know, I'm not interested in your man. To be honest, I'm usually more interested in a woman, but sometimes the woman is just bi-curious. She's not really bisexual. So she might let me play with a pussy a little bit, but you know, I'm really there for him. And I'm okay with that too, but I really love to be a joint partner for the two of them. I mean, I've had some great experiences.
Yeah, I've been reading about
in great detail.
In great detail, yes. I read about the one with the husband whose penis or dick couldn't get up. And the next story, what's your favorite experience? What has been your favorite experience? Because we just going all in. You got to get this book, 12-16, be prepared. This is definitely a conversation starter.
My favorite experience probably isn't even in that book. That's for the next book. Okay. Because this one was really trying to just open people's minds to the idea to have the conversation with their partners, right? So I didn't want to really get into great detail about my orgies and all this other shit that I orchestrate, because I'm like the master orchestrator of an orgy. I will turn it. Listen, the five of us in here today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Party done.
I love it.
I have no problem with
don't try to stay in me and ask me what happened after the cameras were off. We ain't even talking about that shit. Okay, go ahead.
And we don't kiss and tell. Well,
something.
Yeah. I don't name names. I kiss and tell, but no one knows unless you were there who I'm speaking about. How about that?
What's next for the brand and for the boss and for the business of what you do? Because this is a business. What's next for that?
Well, like we already talked about, like this, the Black Swingers Retreat. Okay. You know, that is something that. Well, to be honest, the first event was supposed to be this weekend, but I didn't really get as much interest as people stated that was there. You know, people are like, yeah, I'm coming, but you're not buying tickets. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I figured, hey, I'm going to pull back and I'm going to start it off slow, right? I'll generate members, and as the membership grows, then I'm saying, okay, all of us can get together, rent a big ass mansion or a house somewhere, and we can all have a great fucking time, have a big ass, event. It doesn't have to be something that I'm financially strapped to, and now I'm looking like, so nobody buying tickets. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's just keeping it real. You know, this weekend was supposed to be it, but I just backed out of it, because it just wasn't enough. And the people who purchased tickets were all people from Atlanta. I'm like, we don't need to go to Tennessee to fuck. We can stay right here. Right.
Keep it down.
Listen, so for me, it's really just creating an environment and a space for people to be free to be who they are sexually, right, emotionally, right. So whether it's a Black Swingers Retreat event, whether it's another book, because I'm not done with the books. This was just the first one. right? But I mean, I got all kinds of stories.
But there's a woman right now that needs help. Will you coach her? Will you mentor
Oh, for
her?
sure.
How does she reach you?
For sure.
How does she get connected?
So I am at dopeassunicorn.com on Instagram. You can go to my dopeassunicorn.com, my website. You can also email me at dopeassunicorn, except the email has 3 S's because I couldn't find the password to the first one, but it's dopeassunicorn@gmail.com. I'm open for the conversations. Wherever you need me to be, wherever you want me to be, I'm there. We're going to start this book tour. We're going to hit 10 major cities. Philly's going to be the first one because I'm Philly bred, right? So we're going to start in Philly, and then we just going to go down the East Coast to the South, and then we're going to jump over to California and hit up LA and the Bay Area.
Now, I do have one other question. It just popped in my head. Thank you, Spirit. We're Caribbean. I'm Guyanese. You know, you're Haitian. They frown upon this.
They do.
How has the Haitian community responded to you? What do you think? I know you don't give 0 fucks, but tell me.
Well, actually, most of my Haitian friends, they're the ones in my DMs. Like, they trying to come to the events.
Okay.
But, you know, those are the Haitian friends that follow me that are also, you know, soca heads, you know, we train, you know, carnival all the time. Right. So these people are, you know, fun people anyway, right? To be honest, I've gotten some hate messages. You a hoe ass bitch. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate all of that.
Sorry, you're not as free as she is.
Right. Like, I mean, so those things don't bother me. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
Gotcha. And even in your profession, I know you go to work. What do people say when they Nurse Taylor?
The people at work, they follow me. They end up on my Instagram page like, you got all of this under those scrubs? I can't believe this is you, kind of thing, you know. I just don't hide. I don't hide. And what I do with my personal life has nothing to do with how I nurse. I'm a banging ass nurse. You know what I'm saying? And I talk to people like they're real people, and I take care of people like they're human beings, and that's what makes me a good nurse, right? How I fuck has nothing to do with how I nurse.
One bedside manner does not match the other.
At all.
I love it. Well, I have been truly blessed to have you today.
I appreciate you having
me. Been
me.
Blessed, and thank you, because even though it was the last minute and you showed up, and I was in the book like this. Whoa, wait! I mean, my goodness. Any parting words? Any word of advice? Because I love the final thought you said. You have nothing and are nothing without honesty. And I think that's what intimacy boils down to in any relationship. Whether you're polygamous, whether you are a swinger, whether you are in the lifestyle, out of the lifestyle. It's honesty. And the reality is people are not honest with what they want. People are not honest with their desires. They're not honest about their sexuality. We got a lot of closet freaks out there.
For sure.
Who won't come out, but they'll be watching xvideos.com at 3 o'clock in the morning.
For sure.
Masturbating, but won't go and explore that fantasy. They rather watch it than live it.
All fear.
All fear.
All fear.
Get over yourself.
All of that.
I love it. Well, I'm blessed. We're blessed to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And guys, again, look forward to I can't wait. I don't know what the new cover is going to buy like, but I'm going to buy it anyway. But Let Me Fuck Your Husband, Sahar Taylor. Guys, follow Dope Ass Unicorn on all those platforms. And listen, we look forward to your questions. And we look forward to having you back.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys so much. Listen, as always, we get together every Monday here at 8 p.m. all the way through the 9 o'clock hour. SheSpeaksWorldwide.com. It's raw, it's real, it's uncut. And as always, we'll see you at the top because the bottom is just too crowded. Good night, everybody.